Speed and agility are not strictly something you're born with. They are skills, and like all skills, they can be learned. No matter the sport you're preparing for, cone training is a must. The constant starting and stopping that takes place in sports makes it critical for athletes to develop the ability to accelerate, decelerate, change direction, and accelerate again, all while minimizing a loss of speed. Agility cone training hones these skills and will make them second nature on the field or court. The Pro Agility Cone Drill is also known as the 5-10-5. The cones are marked off in a straight line, each 5 yards from the next, at a 0, 5, and 10-yard mark. The athlete straddles the middle cone with feet and hips shoulder width apart. The athlete should keep his center of gravity low with a slight bend in the back. The athlete turns and sprints to the left 5 yards, touches the cone or line with the left hand, and then turns back around and sprints 10 yards to the cone on the opposite end. The athlete touches that cone or line with the right hand and turns around a second time and sprints through the starting point. The 3-cone drill is used as a gauge in the NFL combines to evaluate an athlete's ability to bend, pivot, and shift body weight. The cones are set in an L-shaped formation, each 5 yards apart from the others. The athlete starts in a 3-point stance in front of one of the cones. The athlete starts by sprinting 5 yards to the second cone, turns around and sprints back to the starting cone. The athlete then turns around and heads back towards the second cone, runs around it, and then cuts towards the third cone. The third cone is circled, and the path around the second cone is retraced back to the starting point. The linear W sprint drill is a great drill for change of direction training. This drill is often associated with defensive backs in football. 5 to 7 cones are spaced into the shape of a W, each approximately 5 yards from the next. The athlete begins in an athletic position with a low center of gravity. He starts at the first cone and backpedals towards the second cone. At the second cone, the athlete plants and brakes in a forward sprint towards the third cone, and the sequence is repeated until complete. Lateral W slides are designed to combine lateral movement and change of direction. The cones are once again set in a W configuration. The athlete begins at the first cone and slides laterally around each successive cone, always facing towards the final cone. The goal is to maintain proper push-pull lateral mechanics and to change direction as quickly as possible at each cone. This drill is a variation of the lateral W slide that incorporates a sprint within the slide mechanics. The cones are set up in a W formation, and the center is spaced with approximately a 10 to 12 yard void. The lateral W slides are performed just as stated earlier, but between the void the athlete incorporates a linear sprint. This helps the athlete transition from a lateral position to a linear position of explosion and vice versa. The cones are configured in a figure 8 formation. 2 circles 3 to 4 yards wide are constructed using at least 4 cones. The athlete slides laterally by beginning at the top of one circle facing towards its center. The athlete navigates the circle while continuing to face center. At the intersection of the circles, the athlete transitions from facing the center of one circle to facing away from the center of the second. The athlete then navigates around the second circle and transitions back again at the intersection to the first circle. Change direction of the lateral movement with each set.